Morphling and make him fight a lot earlier than he wants to.
Reserve time.
Yeah, this is like the quintessential Drow Ranger lineup for Team Tinker. Like,
oh, yeah.
You have all ranged heroes. You have the double aura from Venge and Drow. You have one of the best mid laners that uses the Drow aura to his effectiveness, coupled with his nuke damage, and that's Puck. And then, of course, the Visage, the tried and true Visage Drow to get the buff up onto your familiars. So, very, very quintessential lineup here from Team Tinker. Probably going to pick one more ranged hero here. They could go Puck offlane as well, and they could also go Puck mid. Doesn't really matter. I think either will work. In fact, Puck offlane with Drow Ranger on your team actually I think is a little bit stronger, just because it makes it so that when you try to trade harass with the support hero, it's much more difficult to do so with the extra 6 or 7 damage that you get at level 1. So in that sense, Puck offlane could be a little bit more effective here, and then maybe Team Tinkerino could pick up a mid. Doesn't have to be a ranged hero. They could even go something like Magnus,
right?
Since they're probably going to be going up against a dual lane in mid. And Magnus could do fine against that. And, you know, we know that Araya standing in, he does love to play as Magnus, and it's actually going to be a troll, so they're going to stick with the ranged concept.
Yeah, I like the troll pickup. I was actually thinking the flex they have, and looking at the lineup Snaw has, they have a... Tinker could pressure this. I'm not saying they're going to, but they actually have a very effective aggressive tri-lane if they're anticipating it's going to be a Morphling with a support Mirana, which we don't know. I mean, obviously the Lich will be a support, but you would think support Mirana could be Min Mirana as well. But being able to take the Drow, the Visage, and the Venge, there's going to be an Axe pickup now for Snaw. But being able to the Visage and the Venge into the face of a Morphling as he tries to... And you don't really have the option if you're sneaking Nyx Assassins in that case of being like, oh, okay, we'll just use Lich's Sacrifice and we'll keep the creep wave back. They're not going to mind because they're just going to peck at your tower and you're going to lose your tier 1 very quickly. That would have freed up a solo lane for the troll. And let's see, yeah, it is going to be a rise on the Puck. And don't know they're going to get that cute with it, but still nice to have those kind of options available. The Axe pickup, I don't think I'm a fan. You're talking 5 ranged heroes, I guess 4.5 ranged heroes, depending on how you want to tally troll. But they're going to need him to get on Drow, and they're going to need to follow up and burst her to death. Otherwise, these fights are just going to get kited absolutely to no man's end. It's going to be a really tough go for sneaky Nyx Assassins if they're not always on point with getting the initiation they want.
Yeah, I don't like the Axe pickup at all. Like you said, 5 ranged heroes, and they're all 5 ranged heroes that like to kite you and can do so easily.
Yep.
His thinking's probably, I'm just going to get a fast early blink and then jump at them and run at them and close the gap, which is nice, but I don't think you can afford to get that when you have a Lich drafted on your team, because that means relatively weak lanes. Obviously, mid's probably going to be okay for Nyx, if we're assuming it's going to be this Lich and Morphling mid, as we always see it when these 2 heroes are drafted. But that means it's going to be a very, very weak lane in the safe lane. Like, Axe Potom, this is very bad synergy. Like, you can't rely on an arrow from long range and then walk up and then get a Berserker's Call. And even then, a Berserker's Call to initiate doesn't necessarily guarantee you an arrow anyway, because the creeps kind of wrap themselves around. So it's a little bit of an awkward synergy right there. And as I mentioned, it depends on what they want to do. It's going to be actually... It's going to be an offlane troll, believe it or not. And he can probably easily contest with this lane too, because when he pops that himself into ranged form with the aura as well from Drow, he's going to be trading harass with Whitebeard very effectively, who bought boots first, so has very little regen. Very little regen, actually. He only has 2 trees and very little damage at 43.
Horn blows, and we're about to see the Rune spawn. Brax and Whitebeard have eyes on things, and yeah, we're not even going to see Sing try to contest. It's going to be, I think it's a regen. Yep, it was. So Brax snags himself a regen, and bottom that's a bounty for EGM. And I was actually going to mention this. They started out with Bulba heading up to top, and then he went back down to bottom. It looks like they want to dual lane this, and I think this is a great choice. I mean, these 2 heroes down at bottom, Pycat on the Drow, who again, he just had a phenomenal game 1, and EGM, they're going to be able to zone the tide fairly well. I don't know that they're that concerned with him having Ravage, with him having Blink. So even if he does manage to get his levels, I don't think it's gonna harm them that much, because as you said, at top, they're not going to be able to really do much to contest Sing Sing, especially now that you've got Bulba there just as a safety net. He even gets the ward down. Brax will certainly get his levels and should get some gold, but he did start with a stout shield and a ring of protection, so it's going to take a bit. But yeah, there's a magic missile right off the bat as soon as he got away from the creeps, and then now he has to burn through his regen. He's already used 1 tango. He's down to just 2. And in mid, we can see Fluff has actually made his way here just to try and get this lane in favor of TC. But like you said, Puck's going to be able to handle this pretty damn well. And Whitebeard's going to have to try to make something happen as he's roaming now at level 1.
Yeah, and he took a lot of... He was being very conservative with his arrow. There was a time when Puck had like 150 HP, walked away, had a creep following him, and he just chose not to take the shot. And as a result, he missed his opportunity because afterwards Puck just used the health potion and wasn't in a good position to get arrowed. So I think Whitebeard could have shot one. And even if he misses, I think that was his only opportunity to really get one. Arise taking some pressure, but Puck is great in the mid lane for this reason. It's very hard to kill him.
He's getting his levels, and his CS not bad either, sitting at 5. Down at bottom, Mike is having quite a good time as he's been sitting right in front of the creep wave the entire time. We are going to see a pull on from EGM now. And the kill potential here isn't huge. They really need 3 heroes to, I don't know. If Mike allows himself to get whittled down, he does have 4 tangos. He just has to make sure that his standing HP stays okay. At top, a little bit of trading in the paint. As Brax did, I think, yeah, he got a call off and got Sing Sing with it. So Whitebeard, I think, needs to be in this lane. Otherwise, it's just going to be a complete win for Tinker. But we'll see. If Mike gets a chance to make a play after getting a quick 6 and maybe a little bit of gold, they may be able to take advantage. And that's really what they're going to have to rely on, as you mentioned, is they have to get Axe's Blink. They really need Blink Ravage. They really need Whitebeard to be on point with his arrows to lock these heroes down. Otherwise, the kiting's just going to be tremendous for Tinker. And we can see Sing Sing's actually atop the board, the CS board right now, along with Pycat. So they're quite happy with their gold efficiency thus far.
Yep, Mike picked up a DD room, which was kind of nice there. He caught like 3 more CS for himself, so at the very least that's good for him. He's going to stack some ancients, so he's having a good time actually in the soft lane. But as you mentioned, the other lanes aren't doing enough, I would say, at this stage of the game. Like, oh, Bulba's actually spotted out Fluff. He's in a bad spot, actually. Wondering why Fluff didn't use the Nova there. I think that he uses it there, but that, like, right there as opposed to right here, it's not exactly the best position. Arrow comes out, arrow hits, actually, on Bulba.
Yep, Bulba may be dead here to nothing but auto attacks. Whitebeard is level 2, but at his second point of leap, so there was no Starfall to follow up. And Bulba, at the very least, just keeping him busy. Arise, continuing to do fairly well here in mid. He's a little less than half of TC's farm, which TC's going to be quite happy about the way he's starting the game. But we always talk about the Morphling every time we see it drafted. It's just, outside of rushing an E-Blade and just hoping it comes out very, very quickly, it's not like Anti-Mage where you can build a Vlad's and try to go fighting build. Like, Morphling can show up to fights, but he has a hard time sustaining in them. And if he ends up dying before he gets things like Lincoln, BKB, if that's where he wants to go, no matter what build he wants, he just needs to be left the hell alone for a bit. And I think Tinker's not going to allow them that room. We saw how effectively they pressured NYX out of their comfort zone in Game 1. They'll look to repeat that now in Game 2.
Yeah, pings out onto Whitebeard. They know that he's there on the side. They have their own ward spotting him out. So they're probably not going to get arrowed or anything like that. They can even pressure him if they get a lucky bash after a stun. Actually, the leap is used, so if he comes back, they know that he doesn't have it for a good, what is it, I think 40 seconds at level? No, it's less than that. It's 30. Okay, the mana was 40. Okay. But, yeah, the lanes are definitely being won here by Team Tinker.
Whitebeard going to use that speed from leap and make his way over towards mid. Probably going to throw out a Hail Mary here. He's thinking about it. Yep, doing what damage he can. Arrow. Don't know that was well timed. I mean, you have to figure that if TC aggressively waveforms like that and knowing the Lich is on the high ground, he's going to immediately phase shift and try to jaunt away. And that's exactly what happened. So a little bit of wasted time, but not terrible, as the lane was completely shoved in front of the tier 1 here. But Sing Sing is just having a heyday, man. I mean, Axe is doing well too, has his Tranks up, plus 600 gold, but Sing Sing is going to be one of the more farmed trolls we've seen early on, unless they're able to get some pressure onto him.
Yeah, at the very least, though, they are getting very nice stacks for Tide. He's almost level 5. He's got a triple stack in the Ancients. He's got a quad stack, I think, or a triple stack, actually, in the regular main hard camp. So that'll be a fast blink for him, and I think that's really NYX's go time to fight, is like blink on Tide, level 6 on Lich. They're probably not going to have a blink on Axe for quite some time, so I don't think they can wait for that, but the blink on Tide will probably happen a little bit earlier, I would imagine. Although Brax is actually... Nope, that farmer's going to go to Brax actually in the jungle, I think, so maybe he will get a faster blink.
I think that's the right call. Like you said, the Ancients are already being stacked. Tide's going to have no issue with those. And this is a much more effective way to split it, especially given everything we've been talking about, how there's a timing window once again in this game. The NYX really needs to hit. They need to not allow Tinker to set and dictate the pace of the game whenever TC's Morphling needs as much space as he does. Bulba there, they stun out TC. They actually do a fair amount of damage to him, but not wanting to engage in the dark down at bottom. Mike taking some damage. EGM's right there with him. He's dead. Arrow's going to be on the mark, but Soul Assumption is first blood, and there's no follow-up. EGM taking tower shots, but I mean, he's well leveled. He's sitting at level 5, level 6 for the Drow, and this is what I was talking about with Mike. He just can't allow himself to be low HP against the Drow, Ranger, and a Visage. They're just going to kill you because they can slow you to no one's business.
Yeah, Arrow comes out. It hits Pycat again, actually. This is the second one in 2 cooldowns. Mike is going to get the kill, actually. Nicely done, but that was very avoidable, and Pycat just not paying enough attention.
Waiting to see if Mike's going to solo Ravage. Now he's just going to chase him back. Is there not enough mana for an arrow? There was. I think they actually, that might have been an effective use of that Ravage if they'd solo Ravaged EGM and then followed it with an arrow. But instead it remains 1-1, and that's just a mistake from Pycat. He should not have, he was low health. He shouldn't have been that close to the tower knowing that the tide was going to be back up. Had to know and suspect he was close to 6. And yep, now Mike going to use Ravage, got 2. Here's the arrow, Pycat able to dodge it, and Soul Assumption on the Mike. Misplay as Whitebeard whiffed on the arrow, and it's going to end up costing Mike badly. Now Arise is there. There's a silence on the Whitebeard. That makes it a 2-0 exchange. So this bottom lane, mistakes are made on both sides, but at least for the moment, favoring Team Tinker 3-1.
Yeah, that's stuff that just shouldn't happen, unfortunately. Like,
yeah.
You use a Ravage cooldown to get a very for sure follow-up on an arrow. It's a 2-second window there. It's plenty of time to get it, so unfortunate wasn't able to get that is a big deal, because that was our first Ravage, and you lost 2 as a result. Puck able to transfer in too and get some nice rebuttal kill, and that helps us farm out tremendously too. He wasn't doing, actually, where's his farm? Am I missing something, or does he all have brown boots in a bottle?
Who?
No, maybe that's all he has. Okay.
Who are we talking about?
The Puck.
Puck? He hasn't been farming that great. His net worth is quite low. He, is 17 CS, so, I mean, he was a part of that kill, but this is basically what he has. You're looking at it, and we're going to see Whitebeard scurry to safety as he leaps out of the pit. Brax is getting some more room, and because he did take the jungle stacks, I think he took them. Yeah, he took, actually, they've just been restacking them. He took at least this big one I saw. But he's getting close to a blink, and Mike opting to go straight up arc boots means his blink's going to be a bit delayed, and he might be dead again. Whitebeard's over to the side, but he's been spotted by EGM. EGM gets off the Soul Assumption, the Grave Chill, and yeah, using the familiars to get the stun. This bottom lane is coming apart at the seams for NYX, and now Mike hanging around again. Pycat's just going to get a free one. He Krakens, but it's way too late. And he has to, I mean, by now he had to have known that he's been maxing his frost arrows. Like, you can't get in a range like that. You're going to die.
Yep, the Soul Assumption wasn't even used by EGM, which was nice. He knew he didn't need to waste the mana. So he has actually 2 spells now. And got 4 kills under his belt. Nice familiar usage right there. He actually, what people like to do is like stagger him, but he figured to just pop him down as fast as he can so that it's a little bit quicker to react to. And he actually got the kill as a result. So nicely done by him. Arise, the waveform is off the mark from TC. Yeah, this is just looking pretty bad early on. Like, Tide could have had a good start with the stacks. Sing Sing gets taken out here by Brax, actually, with the new addition of Blink Dagger.
Greedy.
Yeah.
The Blink, Brax had just finished his Blink. It was just dropped off, and Sing Sing was farming right here, and he just blinked and got him. The Frost Blast was there, then he Culling Bladed him. So that's a nice pick for them, though. They really need Brax to take over now, given the Blink's going to be so delayed on Mike. And just given the fact that he's died 3 times now, like, they really need him to get out of this lane and get active sooner rather than later. Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, Axe is good in the sense that you can close the gap, like I mentioned. But, oh, he actually blinks away. There's Sing Sing, TP's back up top. It's going to be a Vlad's build or the Troll Warlord. Nothing out of the ordinary, really, for him. And here comes an aggressive smoke here from Arise and Bulba. Of course, no Blink Dagger up onto the Puck. But he does have all his spells up and ready to go.
I'm going to go hunting for Brax. Brax, though, should be able to sidestep it as he's going to make his way down towards mid. EGM has taken up shop there as well. Looks like he's going for a Scepter Rush, just 100%. Brown Boots, Branches, and... Yep, no, wait, actually, he's picked up 2 Staffs of Wizardry, so Atos.
Yeah. I think Atos is fine if you're farming this fast, but
Brax gets the jump and the call. That's what they need, and they're going to need more of it. Towers are going to die very quickly if they're not very careful. And like, just watch up at top now as they pressure this. And yeah, these towers super die quick. And in mid, they're going to try to trade the tier 1. They have a glyph, and they will deploy it. At top, it's been deployed as well. Down at bottom, Whitebeard playing a little catch-up in farm. Arise is hanging out just to the edge. Not going to try to do anything too cute. Tier 1 drops at top and in mid. So an even trade, not too bad, but they did get the kill on the Visage. And at the very least, though, EGM had spent his gold on those 2 Staffs of Wizardry, so didn't lose a whole lot there.
He did lose his familiars, and he had to resummon them, which sucks because that's 200 gold. That is the best thing that NYX have going for them, I think, is the fact that, yeah, Axe can get kited if the team fight doesn't go effectively in the very beginning of it. But if he gets the jump onto the Visage Birds, they die instantly. Like, the physical damage of the counter Helix is just way too strong against Visage Birds.
Vlad's done on Sing Sing, and I think they're just going to trade again. Tier 1 bottom, they do have Glyph, as do NYX. And I think this is actually good calls from, I mean, just look at how quick this tower dies. Like, they're going to have to Glyph soon, and they finally do. Down at bottom, they barely got a dent on. TC actually got spotted up on the high ground. He's going to have to waveform away. They did use Moonlight Shadow, and they might engage. In the meantime, Visage gets the tower destroyed. Brax gets the call, though. Birds are down off of the counter Helix, but he's already tanked up. And there's going to be the Ravage coming from behind from Mike. Nice arrow. Whitebeard making up for the one he missed earlier, catching a Rise that time. So they get the tier 1 and preserve their own, but they give up 3 to do it. Wasn't their 2 main farming cores, but a nice response from NYX Assassins to keep this game at least within reach. Down at bottom, the tower is sitting at 344 HP, so they may decide to take another wing at that. But, I mean, we're beginning to see. It's like when NYX hit the abilities they have to hit their arrows. Hang on, TC spotted by Sing Sing. Morphing strength, and yeah, Sing not going to chase uphill into the dark, just going to try to take a stack. But whenever they hit their arrows, whenever Mike's on point with Ravage, etc., they can win these fights, and they will win these fights. Brax is playing well and playing just as aggressive as he needs to be. If you're Team Tinker, what's the game plan moving forward? You're beginning to realize, I think, that you're not going to roll over NYX like you did in Game 1.
Well, they're playing really sloppy. Like, that first death on Pycat was just an example of that. The positioning, they're not respecting the Ravage at all. They're not respecting the Potom ult, which really owned them there. Like, the Potom ult just totally destroyed him with the Tide being able to just walk up and Ravage. No blink on him or anything. They also didn't use the spells up from Puck. Like, I thought he was going to coil and just use more spells, but he was very, very conservative with them. And as a result, they didn't get the kill onto Axe before all that initiation happened from the Potom ult D to the Tide ulti. Yeah. And that's just going to get easier once Tide gets the blink. So I really liked, I loved the Tide pickup. I think it was fantastic. I think he could have done better in the start, but now that he's getting the ball rolling a little bit more, it's finally going to take these stacks. He's going to have a blink dagger after this.
Well, he's taking Ancients while Team Tinker eyeballing the big Ancient as Roshan. Oh, yeah, looks like they are rethinking it. Might be the right call, too. Everyone's in position. Ravage is still down. I don't think they have that much to worry about 5-man if Ravage is down. I mean, you don't just want to walk into a bad fight, certainly. But I think they could have not necessarily taken Roshan, maybe time for an aggressive smoke, something, and try to force a bigger engagement. Mike's going to have his blink easily now as he finishes these Ancients off. And this is where NYX has their timing window. This is where they have the chance to punish them. Pycat, in the meantime, has gone 3 Wraith Bands, plus the Mask of Madness. I love this. This, like, Drought Ranger was one of the first heroes I played whenever I first started playing Dota 2. And I went almost this exact same build, knowing nothing. And then now, years later, to see the pros doing it, just puts a grin on my face. And a blink dagger, so wanting to keep himself alive a little bit longer.
I like the blink. He's definitely going to need BKB now. As long as he can blink away from the 2 big initiation spells. The Axe one's easy to do because it's not the biggest range. The Tidehunter one's not the easiest to do. So he's really got to be very careful and aware of the Tide's positioning. They also have to have sentries up. Like, the sentries are going to play a big role because I think the Potom ultis are going to play a big role this game. And Potom, despite the kind of missed arrows and opportunities there as the Axe is going for EGM.
Easy kill.
Yep.
And I think sloppy's the word. NYX is just playing a tighter game of Dota here in Game 2. And Team Tinker just not really executing at the level we saw them execute in Game 1. I'm actually surprised they're not doing more as a squad, and they are as split up as they are, given the advantages they have. I mean, Arai still has a lot of room to catch up. He needs about another 100 gold for his blink. That'll be a huge pickup, so maybe that's really what they're waiting on. Moonlight Shadow was deployed, and they might take a run at Brax here shortly. They've got 4 to the south. And are they going to go? Looks like they want to. Bulba's
They're waiting
rotated.
at the bottom ulti. Now they can go.
Yep.
That
And
was the worst. Okay, that was so close. He almost got the blink off, but now he is dead. Whew, that was really close.
yeah. So they do manage to grab him, but yeah, that was a little chancy. Sing Sing has picked up a Sanj for himself. And speaking of, Yasha, BKB seems to be the build for TC. He's got a replicate, and he probably will go ahead and use it. Nope, lets it expire. I was just behind him anyway. Did manage to wait for him to safety. EGM spots Mike, but Mike able to make it away. 6 to 7 now, as we're coming up on 17 minutes in. We can see it's basically dead even. It's slightly favoring NYX Assassins right now, though trending in favor of Team Tinker. And the experience, pretty negligible, just 3K. At 17 minutes, that's not unmentionable, but yeah, this is as much in NYX's court as anyone could. And I am actually really happy to see the build that TC's going. Skipping the Lincolns, Yasha, BKB, this just feels much more stable to me against this team.
The BKB is very necessary just because of the slows and the pot coil and all that jazz. So I do like the Morphlings build as well. I totally agree with you. If he went Lincolns, I'd be very, very scared for them because I don't think that it's going to be that effective. It'll block some spells, but it doesn't still really get you in fighting shape. But this build does. So
right,
I like this from TC as well. Looks like it's going to be a Midas onto the Lich, which I don't know, because he's buying wards constantly, so the Mites is going to come out in like 24 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Unless they win a really big team fight. But if you win a really big team fight, I don't know. Like I'm on the fence sometimes with Midas on Lich. Like sometimes when I play Lich as well, I'm like, ooh, I'm getting decent farm and levels. Like it's nice, but I actually never really feel the full effectiveness out of it. So I don't know if this is the right call, but nonetheless, still getting wards, which is important. And the big thing is that the Tidehunter has now good farm.
Brax spotted out in bottom. Again, there's going to be a blink and a ravage, and they're going to get a rise at least. Sing Sing wants to make it. Oh, he actually missed on the Culling Blade. Sing Sing does secure the kill, and he's going to end up dead, but at least he did manage to get Brax. So Mike on point with the blink ravage that time. And this is kind of what I'm talking about again. Like, Team Tinker is split up into packs of 2, or, you know, solo roamers, or just farming the Visage alone in the jungle. And speaking of, EGM could be in trouble here. Mike hanging around on the outside. He actually uses the Atos. Whitebeard manages to get the kill. Whitebeard picked up a blink himself, by the way, as we saw that used in action there. And that ends up being a 3 for 2, as the Lich ended up dead up in top lane. I'm not sure what happened there. Was watching instead at bottom. But the Morphling's coming online, and they need to really get together and do something. Like, you draft a team like this where you have all this Aura synergy and so on, and instead they're just taking their time and farming, and I'm not sure what they're really waiting on. I mean, Puck has his blink now, so that's done. The Atos was the choice instead of the Scepter. Now there's a 4-staff up on Mike on the other side, and Mike's really done his job. He and Brax both. Brax has given up a couple of kills he probably could have avoided, but for the most part, they have done what they needed to do to keep them in this game.
Yeah, the BKB is really good too because the silences are the only thing that can really stop him from morphing strength. But if he's silenced, he can just pop the BKB and do it anyway. The only thing that can stop him then is you have to silence him and stun him from Troll to make sure he doesn't pop the BKB, but that's a lot to ask for. Here comes a smoke actually into Roche. I'm wondering if the Wave of Terror, if not placed correctly, is going to show them. The ulti is going to probably give it away though, but look how fast it's going. My god, it doesn't even matter.
Yep. And we're actually going to see Puck get eyes on Brax because of the Wave of Terror. Arise reacting quickly. They're going to try to come out. Frost Arrow onto him. Is there a follow-up? Probably the right call not to pursue into the dark there. The Aegis, I didn't even see who picked it up, but yeah, I figured it was the Drow. But now this is where they need to really get the 5-man going. Like, I feel like they really have just played way too fast and loose with their positioning and how they've treated NYX. And I like the way you phrase it. Hang on. Brax gets a call on the EGM. And here's another Culling Blade that makes him 5 and 2. And once again, just heroes lingering by themselves and getting caught. That's really the only way to say it.
Yeah, Whitebeard's been doing a much better job about positioning himself in a way that if they do find initiation, he can get a nice arrow to follow up. And that's like the 3rd time that we've seen that, so Nicely done from him. It was just on the very edge of the last couple of seconds. Oh, big ravage here from Mike.
Yep, and Arise comes back in, but Brax gets a two-man call, using the familiars to try to stun, but there's the Chain Frost, and Bulba's in trouble. Sing Sing now being pursued out. That's a 2 down for Team Tinker. And Sing Sing likely to get caught and cleaned up. TC right there to waveform through. And even has a haste rune for good measure. And Sing trying to buy time. That's all he really can buy. Pycat lost his Aegis for free, and that tier 2 still standing with 43 HP, so they can go deny that whenever they want. But yeah, that was another misplay from Arise. He blinked in trying to anticipate the follow-up, but Brax was on point, got a great 2-man call. And yeah, they're going to get Pycat anyway. Point-blank arrow. Don't know that it matters. Brax, Lorelei on the calling blade. It's a couple of times he's whiffed on that. But nonetheless, that's 4 for nil by the time all's said and done. 4 plus an Aegis for nil, as a matter of fact. And this is not good. NYX is now doubling them up in kills. And when you look at the overall goal graph, man, you're talking a 5K lead right now, and you're the side with the Morphling.
Yep, and I don't think Drow does anything in the late stages of the game. Another initiation onto the birds this time, I believe, from Brax.
Yep.
Just to get him. Okay, good. Yeah, that's just more gold. And so we thought this axe pick was going to be questionable by NYX, and they've made it work. Like they got him out of the laning phase. They got him some nice stacks, and you know, on paper it's nice just because you can close the gap, like I said with the blink. There is the ability to slow him down and kite him, but Team Tinker just hasn't been able to do that. They haven't been playing as effectively against this axe, and Brax has been finding good initiations onto not only just the Visage, but the Visage birds too.
Gonna be a Manta done for TC soon. And yeah, and maybe you can add some enlightenment, make sure I'm not just off the cuff with this, but I still feel like a lot of this comes down to the way that Tinker's approached this and how they've played it as a squad. They haven't really been doing a great job of split pushing. Every now and then they split up, but they've just given up so much ground with not coming together, not letting these auras and not letting the synergy with their heroes really work together the way they want. There's a coil on the Brax in mid. Midas done on Lich in the meantime. I don't think they can engage on him. Yeah, they are scared to death of what is waiting in the dark up here. And now he's actually going to re-engage. Gets the call onto Bulba. Arrows on point. And that's another kill. EGM hangs around the outside, but Brax on a killing spree. And does it with a flourish as he didn't miss the culling blade that time. 16-8. And we are really getting into, like, Team Tinker's going to get run over very soon. And again, what is... Pycat, I understand his farming. He's got a BKB now, but he's yet to really contribute much of anything. I mean, he's 3-2-3.
Yeah, and the problem with Drow too is if you do get caught by Axe, your ulti just gets disengaged, and you feel like you don't hit hard at all, like with a minus 60 agility. That means attack speed and damage coming your way, and the aura to proc off of that too. And he does have a BKB, which is nice, but I don't think the Drow does anything in the late stages of the game against Team NYX Assassin. And Troll, of course, just does nothing. Like, that hero desperately needs a BKB just to be able to stay in fights and maybe get some nice proccing of your Berserker's Rage, but he's not even close to a BKB. I mean, he's got 1200, which is fine, but again, even through BKB, like, Axe is going to stop you with the call. And another interesting interaction is the Troll ulti against Axe in particular. Like, it actually hurts you more than it helps you because you're attacking so fast that the procs are actually going to come out, more from Brax with the ulti coming out from Troll.
Yep. It's an excellent point. Counter Helix got to be dealing with a lot of damage output. And, even late game, I mean, in hell, we're only 25 minutes in. They're going to get a catch on Whitebeard. Can they follow it? There's a swap from Bulba. And unable to follow it, though, as Whitebeard does manage to. Hang on, coil spent. Arise not wanting to let that one get away from it. But, yeah, I mean, they get the pick, and that's great, but it's on a hero that really isn't that big of a priority. Sing Sing, like you said, desperately in need of a BKB. Would imagine that's going to be his next pickup. Gets an eye on Fluff, needs a bash, got it. That RNG, though, as Fluff cleaned up by Arise, and now they're getting something working a little bit. But they need to translate this. It's nothing but tier 2 still standing, and it's tough whenever you're dealing with a split push from TC, who is actually doing remarkably well. He's going to have a Scotty here shortly, man. Like, I'm assuming that's what the pickup is. He's gone Yasha, and now he has 2 ulti orbs that were just loaded onto the courier.
Yeah, or it could be Manta and then into Scotty afterwards, or Manta into I mean, I don't imagine him buying 2 ulti orbs if he's not going to go for Scotty, though, so...
Two-man Ravage. Bulba and Sing Sing. Sing Sing just going to bail Bulba dead. There's a Gust. No, Bulba's actually alive for a little bit longer. TC using the BKB, but look at the damage he's eating. Just the birds alone are forcing him to morph, strength, and run. Brax barely able to get away before his blink was put on cooldown. They got Bulba, but that cost them a Ravage. And now, yeah, that is a flat-out Scotty done. For now, Brax is going to get the call off. Mike out there trying to follow it up. Whipped again on the Culling Blade. Does some damage, but does end up dropping as Sing Sing was right there with him. It's a 2-for-1 so far. The Soul Assumption on the Mike does a bit of damage, but EGM going to end up dead regardless. And the Chain Frost not doing much but killing creeps. And Sing Sing got hit with a point-blank arrow. Well played by Whitebeard, ferreting him out, finding him in the woods, and making that a 4-for-1. And once again, these engagements just feel so sloppy from Tinker. Their positioning's not great. I know you got caught that time by smoke, and that's unfortunate and everything, but they are just getting outplayed. NYX is flat out playing a better game of Dota today, and TC is getting gigantic, by the way. 15K net worth. He's got a Scotty, a Yasha, a BKB, and he'll have a Manta done real soon. Like, he's got 1,400 gold on top of that.
That was the most awkward initiation from Pycat I've ever seen in my life. Did you see that? He blinked right on top of the axe. Like, right on top of him. So his ulti already goes away. And then he just gives him the opportunity to use the Berserker's Call right on top of him. I don't know about that at all. And then he just died. That was the most bizarre initiation I've ever seen in my life. But they're trying to pursue something up here. Top. Maybe looking for Mike. Mike does have blink up in 2 seconds. Fluff might not be so lucky. Yeah, Fluff is... Although they don't have a way to cancel this unless they use the coil, then they will. So not the biggest kill, honestly. The coil for just a lowly Lich who does have a Midas.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that Team Tinker's in some trouble. I think Drow's going to fall really off. I think Troll, unless he gets a BKB quick, and he's dead again, actually.
Yep. Sing Sing is struggling. 2-5-1 on him. Not having the best Troll outing. And yeah, I think it's getting to a point where TC, he's probably going to finish a Manta. Yeah, there's the next ulti orb, so only needs a few hundred more gold and Manta's done. And then they could just run at the tier 3, and I don't know that Tinker can stop them barring a big disaster. And wow, BKB has to be used by Pycat for him to escape. Mike's right behind him. He blinks into the woods and will TP away. Mike ravages.
He got him.
Yep. He has to know he got him. Now it's just a matter of finding him. Pycat trying to hide out. He's got blink in 1 second. Brax right beside him. Ooh. Oh, Pycat. Cutting it so close. Mike's right next to him, too. Oh, they're so close. There's an arrow. Not going to hit there. They have to know now. Oh, Mike blinks right past him again. They're all up here, and it's not like they can just get him out. Are they going to abandon ship? Oh, wow. So close on so many occasions. Pycat has no idea that he's actually fairly safe right now. And now, yeah, he'll go ahead and blink and make his way to the side shop. He's not going to show his face in lane, I don't think. I think he's going to blink all the way down to the side shop.
Well, it turned into a nice TP cancel into space creation.
Yeah, exactly.
For Team Tinker. But, I mean, he's still not farming at all, and he's their one-position Drow who has the most farm in their team, so it's not that big of a deal. But Troll desperately, like I said, he desperately needs BKB. Don't even think that's going to solve the problems here for his team, but it's going to stop the bleeding a little bit in fights and give him the opportunity to maybe get something done in these fights. But Rise, he spots some people out with this Invis rune. He's gonna probably pop the smoke, and I think Brax was smoked, so maybe they suspect that there's someone here.
Yep, they have to know it. And he's still got eyes on him. Just heard an arrow shot, and nope, didn't hit anything. And there's gonna be the coil. They want to engage on the Brax BKB after the silence, though. Has the blade mail up. They're gonna try to pursue this out, but the Chain Frost enough to scare them back for the moment. There's the Manta done on TC. Mike used this Ravage to try to kill Pycat, so it's down for another minute. And this might embolden Tinker. In fact, I think it has. Look how quick this Roshan dies. Brax is going to go for a steal, goes in, gets the call. And now they're going to try to follow us up. Pycat uses his BKB, but he's dead again. He's just always in the wrong position. Sing Sing ends up dead as well. And now EGM about to make it 4. And this is probably the last little breath. Yeah, I was going to say, that's probably the last little breath they had in them, was taking that Roshan and taking a fight. And they drop it, and they end up calling the GG as a result. So Cutesy escapes from Pycat aside. that mid game not going Tinker's way, and Snaw just outplayed him. Make it 1-1. We're going to game 3.
Yeah, the tie pick was really nice here. It did a lot of work for them. Brax, despite the trials that he would have to deal with just being kited against this game as the Axe player, did well. Found some nice farm with some stacks from his supports, and was able to close the gap with that blink nicely. And Whitebeard, despite the kind of bad start he had with the arrows off the mark on Ravages and things like that, I think it says a lot about a player that when you have a bad start, you're able to regroup mid-game and actually come back and play effectively like he did. So my hat's off to Whitebeard in particular this game. But nicely played by Snaw, but at the same time, you have to look at Team Tinker, and some of the decisions they made this game were extremely questionable. I mean, Pycat getting caught by arrows that were in clear vision, the initiation, and just the overall positioning of Team Tinker was kind of questionable this game. But yeah, we're going to go to a game 3.
Totally agree. And yeah, I mean, a Rise